Hey guys, welcome to the MC Anime Podcast. We cover anime, geek culture, Japanese aesthetics, and Asian studies. We are a multi-fandom podcast, and you can expect to hear topics in your favorite hobby or fandom activity potentially. You can find MC Anime on Google Podcasts, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and YouTube. Also, please check out mcanimepodcast.com, our website. Furthermore, stay tuned in for another episode.
Welcome to another episode of MC Anime, MC here. And today I have a really special guest with me today, Shiraz Baboo. How are you doing today?
I'm doing amazing. How are you?
I'm doing in there. I'm hanging in there and doing my best. So, tell them a little about yourself, what you do, and where they can find you on social media.
So, I call myself a reality interventionist. I help people to shift their physical reality, as crazy as that may seem. And I'm an author. I've written a nonfiction book called How to Rewrite Reality and a fantasy book called Defenders of the Scroll, which is somewhere between Harry Potter and Lord of the Rings.
And where can I find you on social media?
Instagram, energetic.magic. Facebook, facebook.com/energeticmagic. And I have a YouTube channel, Energetic Magic. So hopefully that's easy enough for everyone to remember.
Pretty much.
Yep.
And further ado, today's episode is Defenders of the Scroll, who Shiraz over here is an author of, and it's in the fantasy genre. But that's the episode for today. Don't forget you can do podcast review, MC at Apple and Google, and mcanime.com is our website domain. Patreon is our crowdfunding support for the channel. Further ado, let's discuss Defenders of the Scroll. So, what is Defenders of the Scroll?
So, it is a fantasy novel about a little girl in a magical realm that her father is kidnapped. She's a princess. She can't get to the royal guard. She's cut off from everyone, but she has the power to summon things. And so she tries to summon the guards to her. But because she's young and inexperienced with magic, she ends up summoning 6 warriors from different times and places. And so she pulls a Roman legionnaire, an Amazon archer, a African warrior, a Japanese samurai, and a guitarist from Canada. Right? So it's kind of crazy because the other warriors you get, okay, these people can protect her, but the one from the guitarist is like, well, what's the point of him being there? But he's from our world. He's watched all the movies, he's read the books. So when he's in this fantasy realm, he just sort of knows what's going on. It's like, oh, the bad guys are going to do this, or we've got to get this guy monologuing, or you know, this is typically what happens in the movie. So with the people that are there are like, how do you know all this? How can you possibly get this? And most of the time he's right because he's seen all the movies, read all the books. It's not all the books, but a lot of them.
Okay. And does each warrior have like a different perspective to tell in the story and to help in the story build up?
Yes. So each one comes from their culture and their point in time. Mm-hmm. So, and there's I missed the Shaolin monk is in there too. And so, of course, there's going to be problems because the Amazon doesn't like men, right? And the Roman legionnaire wants to take charge all the time, and the samurai is headstrong and he just wants to go into battle and earn his honor. And so they have to deal with all these personality conflicts as they're trying to protect this little girl from these forces of evil that are coming after her.
And is each warrior that she summons like a manifestation of her power? Do they have like a special role for her summoning them?
So I start to learn that. At first, no one knows why, like what's going on, and why they're there. They're all trying to figure it out. But it's basically like the legionnaire is about being calculated. He's the strategist, right? The archer is about embracing freedom and your passions. The African warrior is about courage, right? The samurai is about taking action. The Shaolin monk is being calm and centered. and the guitar player is about having fun.
Okay. And so, through summoning the warriors, are they all at once, all together, or are they all separate and they come out at different times?
So what actually happens is she gets the guitar player first, and he has a book that has all of the life stories of the other characters. And when he opens the book, they come out of the book, right? And they have, but they don't like he. It's basically when he talks about, oh, I really use help with this. Someone comes out of the book and helps. And then when they're done, whatever they need to be doing, they go back in the book. And eventually they start figuring out ways to get everyone out of the book at once and then put them back in. And the cool thing is whenever they go back to the book, if they were injured, even if they were near death, they get healed as soon as they're back in the book, and then you could just pull them right back out again.
Okay. Oh, yeah. So it's like Charles Dickens, the three different ghosts, past, present, and future. They come at different times and you need them to come in. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. And so you say that sustaining the injuries and making it heal. What is the limit of that healing process? So
whenever they come back out, they're fully healed. They're in perfect condition. But if they die before they get put back in the book, then they're dead.
Oh.
Right? So if you say, I need you to get me from here to the other side of town, right? If they die before they get to the other side of town, they haven't fulfilled the mission you gave them, then that's it, they're gone. So it's not like you can just say, okay, you know what, you're really hurting, go back to the book. No, you still got to finish the mission. And then you can go back to the book. Yeah.
Okay. Interesting. Yeah. So they have to fulfill the mission at hand. And once the mission is done, they can go back to the book for safety and security.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then the flip side of it is if they're on a mission and they deviate from the mission, they start to get sick. They start to lose strength because they have to fulfill the mission. So they can't decide, no, I like at one point they say, I'm just going to go this way. I don't want to do this anymore. And they start to get sick. So they have to go along. So a part of, so there's that also level of resentment that I'm basically like a genie. You call me, I have to do what you say, and then I go back to the lamp. Mm-hmm. Right? So
it's basically you serve. Oh, okay. It's like fairy tale kind of thing. Lucy summons off the different spirits with lock and key. They fulfill the purpose, and they're master and servant relationship.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Now the little girl's really nice, so no one really hates her, but they just don't like the situation that they're stuck in.
Okay.
So, yeah.
So she asks upon wisdom of the different warrior classes how they can help her. Is there one particular warrior that she uses more often than others?
She uses, like the weird thing is she uses the guitarist the most because he's like a big brother to her. Like he just treats her like a little sister, and they get along well, and they joke around, and he's the joy, he's the fun. All right. But he's also the least qualified to protect her because while he has the knowledge, he doesn't have any of the fighting skills. So he can get his butt kicked all the time. So.
Okay. And with the little girl, what's her name and what's her story?
Her name is Dara. She is the princess of the realm. Her father is a wizard king, and he's training her to become the next wizard queen. But she's only 11 years old when all this happens. So she's learned some spells, but not enough to really be a powerful wizard that can take on anyone. Okay. So she has to be protected, but she can pull off some smaller spells.
And is the warriors like a secret ability, like summoning familiars to come aid you in battle kind of mentality? No.
So she's the spells that she was practicing with her father before all this happened were summoning spells.
Oh, okay.
So she'd learned to summon like insects and small animals, and this was like the biggest thing she could do because she knew she needed protection from war. And the thing is, the elite guard of the king are called the Axemen, right? Because they use different types of axes as their preferred weapon, and they're just a kick-ass squad. But the guitarist, the name of his band is called the Axemen. So when she tried to summon an Axeman, she just got the wrong one.
Oh, okay.
All right. So again, she's not good at it. She didn't know how to get that spell nice and tight and get exactly what she wanted. And she messed up, and then she ends up with this kid, or this teenager. So,
Okay. So here's the class that each warrior is.
Yeah.
Which one is the most adept at fighting, and which one is the most skillful outside of battle?
So it's hard to call which one's the most adept at fighting, because they've got their different styles. They're all about the same skill level. And if you were like to put the samurai up against the Roman legionnaire, you would know who would come out. They've each got their skills. And same thing with the archer. If you got some distance, the archer is going to take you out before you get close to her. Right. So that's just the way it is. For outside of that, then it's Alex with the knowledge. They all have their own knowledge, and they can help survive. Right. If you're out in the wilderness, any one of those can help you survive. Alex, no. But if you're dealing with traps in a dungeon, Alex would be like, "Oh, I know what this is. I've seen this before, and we just have to do this to get rid of it. We'll unlock it right here." So you have to know. She does know have to hope that each person plays their role in the right way. If one tries to do what the other one's supposed to do, then trouble ensues, as it does throughout the book.
Oh, so not only do you have the misadventures of her going through everything, but we also have different warriors summoned not for the right situation. They have to go basically explore how to go through that to complete the mission.
Yeah, and there are times where some of the warriors are off on one side, some of the warriors are off the other side. So you've lost skill sets, and everyone's just trying to get by based on what they have, because the whole team's not together, which causes more dilemmas.
So the limitation, can only one be out, or can she summon all of them at once?
She learns to summon more at once, but when she starts off, she doesn't. Okay. She doesn't know. She just starts summoning one at a time, and it's actually not to give too much of the story away. It's actually one of the bad guys that starts to figure out how she's doing this, so that more people can be summoned all at once.
Oh, so she gets like a build up from the villain to make her better.
Yeah, because the book they're being summoned from, whoever is holding the book can summon the people. It's a lot like the lamp, the Aladdin's lamp. If someone else has the book, they can use the book and set whatever the quests are, and they have to fulfill them.
So it's a double-edged sword. So someone else can get it and be able to use it, taking her the ability to summon.
Yeah.
Okay, interesting. I see a lot of play. You do a lot of tension with the book and the villain having the book, how he's learning how to use it. What inspired the story to become what it is now?
It was interesting because I was working with a business partner a while back, and we were designing some animated TV shows, and we had the story called the Phoenix Prince, which was about a boy who his father gets overthrown, and he has to go into hiding and learn to retake the throne. And when we were playing with little different elements about it, it's like, well, what if the kid was from our time? And then, what if other people were from different times? And then eventually it changed, and it became what it is right now. And it was just this evolving project. But once we got to the point of let's instead of having it even though it takes place in a magical realm, originally it took place in one part of the world. What if we have access to everyone in the world? What if we have access to Japan, and we have access to North America, and we have access to Africa? What kind of group can we put together, and how well would they function, and what would be the problems of that group when they got put together? And the book is just it's action packed, but it's also lighthearted, and we had a lot of fun putting the concept together. And once the concept was there, I just started writing, and I wrote the entire thing in 3 months. Yeah.
Okay. So Defender of the Scroll. What's the idea of the title, and how did the title make the story, or did you think of it backwards?
So what happens is when the girl's father is captured, he sends all of his magical power into a scroll, and she has access to this scroll. So now the bad guys have him because they wanted to use him for his power, but they can't because all this power is in the scroll. So they know if they can get a hold of the scroll, they can get access to its power. But this little girl's got it, so now they have to go after the little girl. But they can't just like kill her with a fireball or something because that would destroy the scroll because it's a delicate thing. So they have to be careful going after her. They can't use any overwhelming forces or magic or anything like that. And the cool thing is, now that she's got the scroll, whenever she's touching it, she can access her dad's power to magnify her own abilities. But the problem is, whenever she does that, it's like this magical beacon that says, "Here I am." So the bad guys know exactly where she is. So when she uses it, she has to do it quick. She has to do it strategically to do any big effects that she might want to pull off.
Oh, so the scroll is imbued with the magic of her father. If she wants to be able to access it, she uses her father's magic as basically like a battery to charge up her magic. And as a result, that battery has a digital signature that people can pick up in the magic realm.
Yes.
Okay, that's interesting because it gives her the power to do something, but it also comes with a cost.
Yes.
But it's at the cost of being found out instead of actually weakening you in a way.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, because they're on the run until they can figure out what to do, get a strategy, and then try to figure out where the dad is. And every now and then they get into a situation where it's like, oh my God, we need that extra boost of power. But if we do it, then everyone knows where we are. So you got to make decisions.
True, you got to make decisions. As we wrap this up to a close, what is one last thing you want to talk about Defender of the Scroll in this particular image? So
I think it's a cool book in that it's got the classic stuff, the swords and swords. So unexpected lessons being learned in it, like history lessons, and with a lot of fantasy, there's moral lessons that come in, but it's all in this place of fun and excitement and joy. And the book that's out right now, it's actually the first of a trilogy. So when you're reading it, expect that it's not going to be completely over. There's more to come.
Okay. All right, guys. This is Shiraz Baboo depiction of Defender of the Scroll. You hear it from him. It's a trilogy series. The adventure summoning familiars to come aid you. You have a magical scroll. And as a result, she's the defender. Dala is the defender of the scroll, so she's trying to keep away from other people. So if you enjoyed this story and want to potentially, support Shiraz Baboo, please follow him where Guardian of the Scroll is, and also Energetic Magic at YouTube, Facebook, and Instagram, and also his website as well. And further ado, this concludes this episode of MC Anime Podcast with Defender of the Scroll and its applications in a fantasy genre telling type story. And you can come to us with podcasts near you. You're on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify, iHeartRadio, Amazon Music. You can go to www.mcanimepodcast.com, and you can also join us on Patreon for crowdfunding and support for the channel and making posts, episodes for topics and guest appearance as well, and other tiers. So please support us there. Thank you, Shiraz Baboo. Thank you for being here. And one more thing, where can they find you to wrap this all up?
Where can they find, pardon?
Where can they find you?
Where can they find? Well, Defenders of the Scroll is available on Amazon. I recommend getting the ebook because it's full color and there's pictures of throughout the book as well, so you can see exactly what's happening. So enjoy it there. And I'm at energeticmagic.com.
All right.
Thank you so much, Mason, for having me on.
Bye, guys. It was a lot of fun.
This concludes another episode of MC Anime Podcast. MC Anime Podcast is available on podcast directories like Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, iHeartRadio, and YouTube. We also have our website at mcanimepodcast.com. If you want to directly support us, then follow Patreon blog MC Anime. Finally, if you want services for hire, then we're available on Fiverr for audio and video production, graphic design, idea consulting, and blog and article writing.